Aragorn is one of the manliest men and most beloved leaders in all of movie history. But the things that make him so popular aren't his ancestral elf heritage or his rightful claim to the throne of Gondor. No, the leadership skills that draw us to Aragorn are skills that we can all develop. So here are 5 ways that you can lead more like Isildur's heir. First, humility. We're specifically talking about movie Aragorn, not book Aragorn, before all the Tolkien fans come at me in the comments. And in the movies, Aragorn is not particularly eager to be king, but he is still willing to lead. When Gandalf falls, he very quickly steps up and becomes the leader of the Fellowship.
Legolas, Gimli, get them up!
On your feet, son.
But that's driven by a desire to help people, not a desire for power. And that's an important distinction. It isn't bad to want leadership, influence, or respect. That's perfectly normal. But it needs to be paired with a sincere desire to help people. To use that influence for good, not just for your own selfish interests. Aragorn understands that leadership comes with a weight of responsibility. So he isn't going to take the role of king or any other leadership position just to gratify his pride. That desire to help the people that he leads comes from the second leadership attribute that we can see in Aragorn, which is that he just legitimately cares about the people that he's leading. I think you see this best when he puts in so much time and effort to find Merry and Pippin. Both in modern corporate environments and on battlefields, it's really easy to start thinking about people as numbers. It's a defense mechanism, honestly. It's one of the only ways that leaders can make the difficult decisions they have to make without losing their minds. But it can also go too far and make them heartless and cruel. In the grand scheme of an apocalyptic war, the lives of 2 hobbits are almost meaningless. The most logical thing to do would probably be to be sad for a while and then move on and try to save the world. You know. But Aragorn is not having it. He cares about his team, and he's going to do everything he can to help them. You see this sincere empathy combined with his total lack of ego that we talked about earlier come together to highlight the third leadership attribute that we see right at the end of the movies.
My friends. You bow to no one.
There's a classic leadership saying that when things go bad, look in the mirror. And when things go good, look out the window. The theory here is that it's your responsibility to fix things that are going wrong and not shift the blame. And when good things happen, you need to give credit to all the other people that made it happen. Aragorn takes this to a whole nother level by not only giving credit, but giving credit during his own coronation by bowing down to hobbits, who are widely regarded as the silly little goons of Middle-earth.
Done.
Supposed to stick it in the ground.
It is in the ground.
Outside.
That was your idea.
If people even remember that they exist at all.
Hobbits. Never heard of a hobbit before.
That takes some serious humility and self-confidence. While we're on the humility train, Aragorn also serves as a fantastic example of servant leadership. Servant leadership is a coin termed by Robin Greenleaf in 1970 to describe an inverted view of the stereotypical leadership dynamic, with the leader actually being on the bottom of the hierarchy, because the increased responsibility meant it was their job to serve everyone else. I actually know a great CEO by the name of Nick Gallo who officially changed his title to Chief Servant to constantly remind himself of that fact. The idea of servant leadership pairs really well with the military philosophy of leading from the front and not asking anyone to do something that you wouldn't also be willing to do. And dear goodness, is Aragorn more than willing to do the dirty work. He rides out at the head of a very small group into a massive horde in order to buy just a little bit of time at Helm's Deep. And he leads the charge by quite a ways at the Black Gate. Keep in mind that the Black Gate is almost literally Middle-earth's version of the gates of actual hell. So if Aragorn's going to ask his men to charge into the gates of hell, dang it, he's gonna be charging in first. And just to put it all into perspective, there is literally a reborn demigod in the group. Yet Aragorn, the kinda scraggly ranger dude, is the one taking the lead. Let's take a closer look at those same two scenes, because in addition to showing the amazing lead from the front philosophy, they also highlight our final attribute of leadership, which is knowing how to motivate people. Again, if you're going to ask your army to storm the gates of hell, you better be pretty convincing. So Aragorn gets his army motivated with this iconic speech.
Sons of Gondor! Of Rohan! My brothers! I see in your eyes the same fear that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day. An hour of wolves and shattered shields when the age of men comes crashing down. But it is not this day. This day we fight. By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand, men of the West!
Shoot! After that, I'm ready to storm the gates of hell. But if your boss burst into your office and gave you a rousing speech every morning, it would probably be more annoying than motivating. Luckily, Aragorn also gave us some examples of motivation that aren't quite so long-winded. For example, at Helm's Deep, when the battle is lost and it's fairly clear that they're all going to die, Aragorn convinces Theoden to go with him on what is essentially a suicide mission with just a few words.
Ride out with me. Ride out and meet them.
For death and glory.
For Rohan. For your people.
By telling him, for Rohan, and for your people, he appeals to the things that Theoden cares about most, which is the best way to motivate people because it works on basically everyone. People are motivated by their desires. And apparently, it works on ghosts too.
Fight for me, and I will hold your oaths fulfilled.
As the heir of Isildur, Aragorn could just force the Oathbreakers to fight for him. But he promised to hold their oaths fulfilled, which is the only thing that matters to them at this point. And he holds to that promise as soon as he can, even though they are quite handy.
Very handy in a tight spot, these lads, despite the fact they're dead.
So if you want to be a better leader, just look to Aragorn. Check your ego. Have some empathy. Publicly praise others. Don't ask anyone to do something that you wouldn't, and motivate people through their desires instead of conventional methods like fear or guilt. And if you can also happen to be the classiest, most secure poetry-writing manly man in all of Middle-earth, well, that doesn't hurt either. If you like fun stories about good leadership, you would love my book. It's called Get on the Bull and is a compilation of leadership lessons all taught through crazy bull riding stories. Now get out there and make the world a better place.